Today, we're going to dive into how AI can help speed up your literature review, but we're not here to overhype it. I'll be sharing exactly what AI tools can and can't do for you so that you know where to leverage them and where they might lead you astray. By the end of this video, you'll be able to pinpoint exactly where you're stuck in the review process and know the right AI tools to save you time and to keep you focused. Ready? Let's get started. So, AI tools in literature review, you're going to see an explosion in these tools. So I want to talk about the expectations versus reality, okay? What people think AI can fix. AI will magically find all the relevant articles for me. AI will summarize everything perfectly so I don't need to read the paper. Or AI will connect the dots between all the studies. There are some that claim that, but the reality is AI can assist with the tedious tasks, but does not replace the need for foundational skills. The second thing is AI tools are only as good as the guidance and instructions you give them. And number three, understanding where you're stuck in the literature process is key, where the true bottleneck is. Identify your bottleneck. So you are only as good as your weakest link, and your speed and effectiveness in conducting a literature review are limited by your slowest step. And for most people, the slowest step in literature review is not the step where you're getting the articles. It's about reading the paper and processing the manuscript, right, into your brain. So that is the slowest step. If you're optimizing what you're really already good at, for example, you're really good at looking for finding papers, optimizing that, it's not going to really help. Where now it's going to create more overwhelm. Now you have, instead of 50 papers to read, now you have 100 or thousands of papers to read. So you need to know where your bottleneck is, not just optimize the areas where you're good at. Why is it so important to identify your bottlenecks? First thing is efficiency and focus. Knowing your weakest step allows you to focus efforts on improvement instead of wasting time on strength. Number two, it prevents overwhelm. Failing to address your bottlenecks can lead to information overload or frustration, causing you to waste a lot more time during the literature review process. And then third, when you know your bottleneck, it can allow you to tailor your AI solutions. AI tools work best when applied to a specific problem. And so when you know where you're stuck, it allows you to choose the right AI tools. Now let's figure out where you could be stuck. Okay, so this is the whole list of areas where the process where we go through when conducting literature review. So the first area is lack of a search strategy. You don't know what to search for. So this is really important. If you're stuck here, AI tools are not going to help you because they need your input to tell them what to search for. So if you're stuck here, go back to the previous module on how to conduct a literature review and see how do you come up with a search strategy. Okay. Now the second area where you are stuck could be the inability to find articles efficiently. So this one, AI tools are the best at this, okay? If you're not, if you know the keywords, you know Boolean operators, you know what articles, this is the area where AI tools shine, okay? And then number three, struggling to filter and choose relevant articles. So this one requires some foundational skills from yourself too, because AI tools are great at looking for articles, but you need personal knowledge to know which one is relevant. Because if AI tools are going to give you a bunch, they can give you hundreds to thousands. But if you don't know how to filter and choose the right articles, and now all you're doing is instead of only 50 papers to read, you have 1,000. So now you have a bigger problem in your hands. The next issue where you're stuck is difficulty reading and understanding research paper. Here, foundational skills, really important. If you don't know how to do this part, AI tools are not really going to help you. There are tools that say, yeah, we can help you read and summarize the key points. Yes, they can do that, but what you're going to end up happening is you can't really validate what they say, because if you don't read them, how can you trust them? Do you know if it's accurate or not? Right. The next one is difficulty synthesizing information from multiple papers. Now here, I'm not really going to be able to help you do that, not at this moment anyway, because you still have to use certain information from different papers and build into your argument. When they don't know what your paper is about, they don't know what direction you want, they are not going to be able to synthesize the information for your needs. And then the final area where it's stuck, you can't easily retrieve information. So this one is all about organizing your information. Again, AI tools are going to pull a lot of things for you, And so if you don't organize them properly, you're going to have the same issue. Like, oh, out of this 1,000 of paper, where can I find that information? So some example of AI tools based on your bottlenecks. The first one is searching and finding. There are existing databases that already use AI tools. For example, in PubMed, it uses AI behind the scenes for their best match articles. So just because it's not a traditional AI tool doesn't mean that it's not in place. So there are a lot of companies now are starting to use AI behind the scenes. Semantic Scholar, it's an AI-powered search engine, okay? And then Research Rabbit, which this is one of my favorite tools because it helps you find and organize literature visually. So this is one of the best tools, which I have a separate walkthrough on how to use Research Rabbit. The next walkthrough is on Research Rabbit. It's an AI literature search tool. So first, what you're going to do is you're going to log in or you sign up. Here, when you go in, okay, I already have some existing collection. All right. If not, you can start a new collection and you name it AKI in the Lariat. Right? Yes. Okay. And now that you have a collection, you can start adding papers into it. So let's say I want to add a paper. You can either you can type in the title, you can put a DOI, PMID, or keywords. So I'm going to type acute kidney injury and delirium. Okay. Now when you search, they're going to ask you biomedical life sciences or all subject areas. Since I'm doing only clinical research, I will choose that. Now, so you're going to see a few articles here, okay? And as you do that, you can scroll through, look through the abstract and choose. So for example, oh, this is the one I want. I want to go add to collection. Okay. Perhaps, let me see, maybe I'll take, oh, this one, acute kidney injury as a risk factor for delirium and coma during critical illness. This seems relevant, so I'm going to add this. Right, I'm going to add one more here. Okay, so now I have 3 articles within this collection. Okay, now that I'm done, you can see here I have 3 articles within my collection. So you can always add more. Okay, now as you do this, I'm going to highlight this area. Okay, so here, let's click on one. This is the paper I choose. You can see here there's a PDF. You can actually immediately download a PDF, which is great. Okay, then you can click here, similar work. They're going to show you all 314 work that are similar, right? Or you can also look at all the references that was listed in this paper. You know, in the past, when we look at references, you have to manually look for it. You have to click here, you have to reorganize that. But look at this now, when you click all references, it's listed here, all of them here, and you can see how it's connected to each other, which is really cool, which is a really cool feature. Okay, and now what you can do is as you go through each one, right, you can read the abstract. You can even add to your collection. You're like, oh, this is actually relevant to my folder. I'm going to add to my current collection. So now instead of 3 papers, I have 4 papers now. Okay, maybe I want to talk about this. Okay, I'm going to add to the same reference, okay, same collection, right? Another one could be all citations. So these are all the papers that are citing this original paper from Pang et al. Right? This is important because now I can see, oh, what are the other papers here or authors that are probably doing the same thing as I am. Now, what's really cool about this is once you are happy with your collection, okay, let's say you have found enough articles within this collection, you can download this and make it organized. So what I can do is I click all of the articles within this collection. Okay, so you have 4 articles, and you can actually download all of them into a CSV form. It's like in an Excel sheet. Okay, give me a minute. Okay, now I've downloaded it here. And let's click on this. Now, what you can see, you have downloaded or exported the list of journal articles that you have put in your collection. Remember, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. So really cool thing, it has the DOI, it's the PMID. Some articles have archive ID, and then you have the title, you have the full abstract, the authors, journals, and year. Okay, so now it's easy for you to keep your things organized. For example, you want to read this, then I can say, oh, read. Right? Every time as you read or summarize, you've already done the work. So this is another tool for you to keep your articles organized. Okay, that's a quick walkthrough on Research Rabbit. I love this tool. It's free. There are several others like Litmap and Connected Papers. They have similar features. I'm sure each one has some nuances there, but usually once you've learned one, it's pretty easy to navigate. Then the next bottleneck is summarization. So these are tools, AI tools that actually can summarize paper, extract data. Okay, so let me go one at a time. The first one is elicit.ai. Specifically, it can summarize paper, extract data, and also synthesize findings. SciSpace, it has multiple tools as well, features. It can search articles, it can extract data. It also has like some nifty AI paraphraser for you. And then Cite AI provides summaries with supporting or contradicting evidence. Now, these are a few of the more common ones. By the time you watch it again, there are going to be more and more AI tools coming out. All right, now I'm going to show you SciSpace. So there are many other tools. If you can look on the left here, they have chat with PDF, notebook, literature review, AI writer. For this specific topic today, we're going to only focus on the literature review part, okay? So if you scroll down, you can either navigate it on the left side or here. Best for researcher, the two things I'm going to show you, find topics and literature review. I'm going to do the find topics first. Right. So here you can find topics. You can go deeper. The topic I was interested in is the association between acute kidney injury. I'm going to type AKI and delirium. Okay. So you can see it takes about 30 seconds to build this. All right. You find relevant papers, finding topics, and then extracting unique topics. So give it a few seconds. Okay, now it's ready. So let's look through what comes up. The reason I chose this topic is because I am familiar with this. That way I can validate if it's true, is it good, is it not good. So here what it says is acute kidney injury is a post-transplantation risk factor for the development of delirium. So that's one thing about transplant and delirium. Really odd. I don't know why they suddenly talk about transplantation where I had not talked about transplant. The next sentence is about delirium. They talked about what it is. Okay. That makes sense. The third sentence, the relationship between acute kidney injury and delirium is supported by high urea nitrogen. Okay, so this one is off. It's just randomly connecting two topics together. And then the fourth sentence, they were talking about identifying certain lab values following a different type of transplant, stem cell transplant. So initially I thought they were talking about kidney transplant because we're talking about kidney. Now they're talking about stem cell transplant. And then the fourth one, suddenly they talk about delirium, suggests that AKI may interact with other predisposing factors such as age and cognitive factors that can exacerbate a risk. So monitoring kidney function post-transplantation. Now I don't know which type of transplant they're talking about, whether it's stem cell or kidney, is essential not only for managing kidney health, but also for mitigating risks of delirium. In summary, the interplay between AKI and delirium underscores the importance of vigilant renal assessment in post-transplant care to improve patient outcomes. So first off, the topic, because I know this well, it's completely off. So there are two big topics, two separate topics, and there wasn't really a good link between these topics. Just randomly finding sentences that link them together. All right, so let's look at the topics. They use different sources. Oh, okay. Now I know why they started. I think because randomly you have certain topics that have acute kidney injury that is linked to transplant that talked about delirium. So they automatically thought that's what I thought the connection is. The way it has created, it's not really useful because it almost reflects like a stream of consciousness. You're picking topics from different areas and connecting them without a true clear structure or purpose. Like, you know how kids, 5-year-old, when they narrate their experiences, it seems like a stream of consciousness. They seem to be linking topics, but they're not really in a logical way. For example, it's like, oh, today I went to a park. It was so much fun. There were swings. Oh, I love swings. But, I couldn't get to the swing because I saw a boy on the swing. Oh, by the way, my friend, he was wearing a red shirt. And my friend Jake has a red shirt too. And Jake has a dog named Max. So you know how they like jump topics, even though they are connecting words, it's just a stream of consciousness. And so this kind of the topic, this paragraph basically is like a stream of consciousness. And you can't use this for research. You're just jumping like a 5-year-old thinking through different topics. So I would say this is not very helpful. Next, let's try something else. I'm going to go with the literature review. Okay. So here I did the same thing. Now this is more like it. I think if you use topic, it's too broad. Now I asked the same question under papers or literature review. So here, at least they're pulling information from papers. And so I can see they start off with the association between acute kidney injury and delirium is well documented, with delirium frequently occurring as a complication with acute kidney injury. Okay, good. So at least this is a well-known connection, okay? The next one, the relationship is significant due to the impact on patient outcomes, including mortality, hospital stays, and healthcare costs. Okay, that is also accurate. Delirium in the context of acute kidney injury is influenced by various factors, including demographics, comorbidities, and the severity of acute kidney injury. And then the following sections explore the associations in detail. So first, they kind of talked about how the impact on patient outcomes, and they included references. Okay, that makes sense. They talked about predictors and risk factors. And then the third part is pathophysiology mechanism. So they are trying to predict what 3 different topics you may be talking about when you're looking at association or correlation between acute kidney injury and delirium. Now, what's interesting is about the tables they've included. Okay, so they have included several papers. I've read through some of these before, and these are relevant papers and important papers for acute kidney injury. Okay, so that's pretty good. Now, the second thing is they have insights, which basically is a summary of the paper. That's useful. If you look at here, there are TLDRs, conclusion. I tend not to use these because I want the details. And so maybe methods used, this would be more useful. So here they can summarize what's of the study. It's a cohort analysis, from what year, how do they define acute kidney injury. Okay, so this is actually really helpful. They're extracting the data without you needing to read the paper. And then the next one here, again, very clear where is the study, how it was done. It was done in 2019 in the intensive care unit. And then now, instead of ICD code, they use a different criteria and guideline. And this is a more accurate way to define acute kidney injury. So with this, I can know, oh, this paper is actually more suitable for what I want to look at. And if you can look here, you also have things like population sampled, data set, dependent and independent variables. This is a really good way when you are trying to compare the literature, which one you want to use, which one has higher quality, which one is lower quality, and which one is more relevant to the particular research question you want to study. Now, do bear in mind when you're doing this really fast, okay? You see, when you click on this, you immediately get the methods. And there's a downside when you do something too quickly. So basically, even though I know all these now, I have all of these data, nothing has gone into my brain at all because I have not taken the time to process the information. I did not open a paper, did not dive deep into the paper to read through it. And so that could be a problem. It may give you the impression or give you the illusion that you actually did a lot of work, but Trust me, 30 minutes later, "Oh, I think I read something about that," but you don't remember anything. So when you want to use these sort of tool, you have to know where you are in terms of your foundations and fundamentals. If you know your mechanism and fundamentals really well, this is useful. You can make a table nicely. But when you truly need to improve your fund of knowledge, you are not really building a fund of knowledge in your brain. All right, now that you've seen how the AI tool works, let's talk about the challenges using this for literature review. So the main thing is if you do not have a strong foundation, this can lead you feeling stuck, or sometimes it may even lead you to the wrong path. And here's why. So number one is you don't know if the output is good or not. It can give you a lot of information. And the reason I know it's not good is because I already know what a QPD injury is, I know delirium, I'm a physician, so I've seen these cases in the hospital, and I kind of have a good sense, intuition of what is good or not. And the second thing is the way you ask the question determines how the output is. So I asked one very generic question: what is the association of acute kidney injury and delirium? But if it's not specific, like, okay, are you talking about outcomes? Are you talking about the variables? Are you talking about risk factors? Which specific association? They're just randomly going to give you different things to talk about. And for the example of the topic tab, they were talking about transplant. So if I was very specific and tell them, no, I don't want transplant, only on hospitalized patient, maybe the output is going to be a little bit better. Bottom line, AI tools are powerful, but they're not magic. You actually need to guide them. So knowing how to ask clear questions, understanding the science, and also connecting results to real life practice. And without that, it just makes you feel more overwhelmed and anxious. I know conducting a research project is an overwhelming process, so I made the idea to paper blueprint for you. This blueprint takes you through a 7-step process from the idea generation phase to the paper submission phase. Plus, you'll get my free 5-day email course, Jumpstart Your Academic Writing. We will cover mindset, key writing tips, how do you beat writer's block, and more. So click on the link in the description below. The next one is in the area of organizing notes. So there are note-taking apps that have AI assistance, okay? So the first one is Notion. So some people are familiar with Notion. Notion is a note-taking app, an organization tool, and there is AI. There's a feature called AI Note Taker, which helps you take notes pretty quickly. Another one, Microsoft OneNote. Now they have also integrated Copilot as their AI tool. AI Note Taker, when and when not to use them. So there is value in manual note taking. So the whole act of processing research articles by taking notes helps you build a deeper understanding and reinforces your knowledge. And so when I mean manual note taking, I don't mean like it doesn't have to be paper, it can be typing too, but the whole process of you reading and thinking through and then creating your own note, that is what I mean by manual note taking. Because when you do that, it forces you to engage with the material. And this is what builds your long-term knowledge base. This is when neurons start, network starts happening. When is it a good time to use AI note takers? It is helpful for tasks that are not intended for knowledge building. For example, taking meeting minutes, listing down tasks as reminders or actions. And then when not to use AI note takers, avoid using AI for research-related note-taking if your aim is to develop understanding or to synthesize information. If your goal is to build expertise, rely on active engagement with the material, which comes through manual note-taking and processing. Now, I want to talk about when AI isn't the solution. So the first thing is complex critical thinking. So AI tools cannot replace your ability to evaluate the quality of studies or synthesize findings into a cohesive argument. So that's where you come into place, right? Don't expect the AI tools to do that for you. The next issue is over reliance on AI. If you depend too much on AI, you might miss out on building key skills like critical thinking or analytical reading, which are essential for long-term success. As a researcher, that's your thing. Being able to read, analyze, and appraise the paper. And from the get-go, you're outsourcing this to AI. You're never going to develop the skill, okay? Number one. And number two, when you do that a lot, you will have trouble coming up with new and interesting or innovative idea. So the risk of using AI tools without a solid foundation. Number one, the first risk is incorrect summaries. AI tools can misinterpret or oversimplify scientific data without the nuances. That can lead to misunderstanding or misrepresenting key research if you can't verify its output. Second risk, overlooking important details. AI may miss nuances or minor findings that are crucial to your research. Now, why is nuances so important? If you think about science in kind of the broader sense over hundreds of years, innovation really happens at the edges and in the nuances. So when you rely all on this, all in the summary, the summaries are things that people talk about a lot. Like it's everything in the average, everything in the middle. Science is actually at the opposite. It's not in the middle. Science is all about going to the edges and then pushing the boundaries. If you're relying on AI tools and they keep giving you the summary and keep giving you the average information, you're missing all the edges and missing all the nuances that can make things more innovative. And that's where breakthrough happens. That's where the edges are. Now, my general advice about using AI tools is to build your foundation first, okay? Don't rely on AI until you have mastered the basics or the foundation, because without a solid foundation, you won't be able to properly judge or appraise AI's results. The third thing is AI does not replace learning. AI is a tool to assist, not to replace your foundational skills. For example, how to read and interpret research, how to synthesize findings, and how to evaluate the quality of research paper. Using AI tools without a strong foundation is like driving a powerful car with no map. You might get somewhere, but it's just not going to get you to where you want to go. So with the right fundamentals, though, you can steer AI in the right directions to save time, uncover insights, and build better research. In this next video, I'm going to show you how to critically evaluate research articles so that you're not just collecting papers or gathering papers, you're collecting quality research that strengthens your work, and you're actually processing it to build your fund of knowledge. So don't miss it and click right here to watch the video.